We have details from this morning's licensing authority hearing on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, July 28th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mannel. Burger King was first in the hot seat at this morning's licensing authority hearing. The fast food restaurant was accused of staying open past 1 a.m., violating a town ordinance. Lieutenant John Murphy, supervisor of the Barnstable Street Crimes Unit, talked about the incident.
On June 22nd, I was working the 5 to 1 a.m. shift. We typically work past 1 because of bar closing till 2 in the morning. At that time, I observed around 1:20 in the morning, I was going down North Street, observed a large number of vehicles still in the drive-through window of the Burger King. And I apologize to the board, and I'll be totally forthcoming with the owner of the Burger King. The police report is somewhat vague in the sense I didn't get employees' names that I spoke to, nor I spoke to 3 employees. I did not get their names because, to be perfectly frank with the board, it's 1:20 in the morning, and I'm dealing with bar closings and a high degree of traffic, intoxicated people on Main Street, Hyannis, and the last thing I wanted to do was deal with a violation past 1 o'clock when it's pretty clear, and it has been for a number of years, that it's 1 o'clock you close. So at that point, I approached the drive-up window. I spoke to a gentleman. He seemed a little bit confused, called for his manager. The manager came over, and I respectfully requested that they close down. She asked if she could continue to serve the rest of the people in the line. I said anyone that paid, give them their food, but anyone just ordered, do not serve them any further. With all due respect to the owner of Burger King, I think it's a management issue. I understand there's probably a high degree of turnover in employees, and maybe everyone is not educated about the 1 o'clock or how to. I truly recognize it's probably a high-stress job when you're dealing at 1 o'clock in the morning and a bunch of people in line wanting their food. But this was a problem that was dealt with the summer before. On 3 different occasions, I went to that restaurant and gave them verbal warnings on that and didn't bring it before the board. I just felt it was necessary to bring it before the board today for a violation because I don't want to have to deal with this all summer long. A competitor that's located very close to them seems to have it down pat. At like 12:45, they stopped taking orders at the drive-thru window because at 1 o'clock, all those cars have made it through.
A representative from Burger King says the company is addressing the issue.
Certainly, as soon as this came to my attention by way of the letter, I addressed it with all of the management up and down the chain. I have with me John Hammelberg, the district manager for all the restaurants on the Cape in the area, and Ms. Hammelberg, the restaurant manager of that particular location. I can tell you that we've addressed this thoroughly. The managers have been written up and counseled on the closing time. It's well known that that's the closing time. I've come here for a long time. They both live here in the area, so we're very familiar with the rules and regulations. We've also had sign-off sheets done by every single employee in the restaurant to make sure that everybody understands that that is in fact the rule. And we've also adjusted the closing procedures to make sure that that no orders are to be taken. This is after 12:50 a.m., but we can certainly change it to 12:45 a.m. if that is what the officer would prefer. So that way we ensure that there is no longer any traffic coming in and out of that Burger King restaurant after 1 a.m.
The licensing authority voted to keep a written warning in the restaurant's file. No action will be taken unless there are future violations. License holders that failed to attend a mandatory yearly alcohol meeting at the Barnstable Police Department also appeared before the board this morning. Director of Regulatory Services Richard Scally says there are plenty of opportunities for businesses to attend the meeting.
For a number of years, we've had these meetings where licensees are requested to come to a mandatory meeting to every spring to talk with the police department about issues that are going on in the town and to update people as to new laws or regulations and issues that are happening, particularly on Main Street. And so I think the police department's done a wonderful job in presenting this every year. They have done a letter that we have sent out to all the licensees every year. We've given them 3 dates to choose from, and then we did a makeup meeting as well, which you gentlemen had ordered, allowed to happen, so that there'd be a 4th opportunity for them to show up. And then we still have those on the list that did not appear at that particular meeting. So I guess I'm sure that they've gotten the letters, because they haven't come back to us, and we made phone calls to them. But I'm wondering why they feel that they do not have to obey an order of the commission, and I'm concerned about that in terms of their commitment to understanding the business that's happening here in the town.
Lieutenant Murphy echoed Scally's sentiments.
For the past 4 years that I have been your liaison to the police department, we've had these annual meetings, and I recognize, I truly do, how busy everyone is, and how difficult it is sometimes to make time in your day. But these meetings are not done just to inconvenience you folks. It's done as a mutual benefit to the police department and to you. Number one, to give a face and a name to somebody, meaning myself and the people that work with me, if you have any kind of issues going on. Secondly, and more importantly, it's an educational issue. In the last 4 years, we've come so far as a collaborative effort between the business community and the police department. And we've identified and given business owners information about people that have been involved in serious violent crimes in our community. And I recognize that the bar is set so high with the ABC and the requirements of the licensing authority that they place on you people every day to run your business, and also the legal end of it, the civil liability and the burden of carrying an all-alcohol license or a beer and wine license. So I think it's just very important that we continue this working relationship, and that you're able to get the information that we want to impart to you on who you should decide to serve or not serve. Certainly the police department is not in the business of legislating how to run your business. We recognize our job is to provide you information, and you guys make the decisions on how you conduct yourself moving forward.
Those businesses that attended this morning's hearing will have a warning placed in their file. Those that missed the meeting and following hearing will be called in for a second show cause hearing. The notices will be hand-delivered by the Barnstable Police Department. The licensing authority also approved several requests for one-day entertainment licenses during this morning's hearing, including the Cape Cod Young Professionals annual Back to Business Bash and the annual Hyannis Sound Reunion Concert. Chair Martin Hoxie had just one requirement for Hyannis Sound members before voting on their license request.
In order for this to be approved, you know what you have to do, don't you?
I think I do.
Okay.
I think I do now.
Here I am, signs here delivered. I'm yours. That's how I wait and say goodbye. Baby, I'm not ashamed to cry. Do, baby. Here I am, signs here delivered. I'm yours.
Well done.
Thank you.
The Hyannis Sound Reunion Concert will be held August 2nd at Barnstable High School at 7. Well, be sure to tune in to our hour-long news program, Barnstable This Morning, weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will chat with Police Chief Paul McDonald, DPW Director Dan Santos, and we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.